Hello, my Acro students. This is Miss Sandy. Welcome to what I think is week 4 of virtual classes with me. I'm losing count, but regardless, this is for April 23rd. And I'm really excited to have another opportunity to work with you virtually. A couple of things I want to start off with that are pretty important. And please ignore the background noise. I have somebody making dinner upstairs, and I also have my 2 boys in a room really close by to this one doing their own workout, and they're doing a little bit of weightlifting, so I can hear the weights clanging. So please ignore that, as well as any cameos if they come out of that room. So I want to get started by addressing something really important. Many of you may be already aware that through a video that Miss Patty and Miss Stacy had presented, that we are going to be postponing our concert at the end of the year, and this includes all Acro performances as well. I actually, while I am obviously disappointed because we were that's one of the most exciting times of the year for us, for me personally as well. I really, really think it's the right move. Specifically, and I'm biased, right? When I think about our Acro program, as I've been thinking about routines and coming up with the choreography for those routines and thinking through the skills that you've been working all year to achieve, it became more and more apparent as more time has passed that postponing for Acro specifically, in my mind, makes sense. Many of you are not set up at home with the right tools to be successful in practicing all of the more difficult skills that you have been working on throughout the year, whether it be you don't have mats, or whether you don't have the spotter that you need to help you perfect that particular skill. And all of you know I'm not one to encourage you to tumble at home. In fact, it's something I actually ask you not to do for the most part. So I know that you weren't going to be prepared for the end of this season. So I do believe that this is the right move. But with that said, postponed was the key word there. So I feel like we're still going to have an opportunity to showcase things that we've learned once we get back and once we have time to re-perfect and re-practice the skills that we were working on. And I look forward to doing that with all of you. So I wanted to state that and just let you know I'm definitely in favor of the decisions that have been made, and I think it's the right move. So I want to keep all of you safe. I don't want you trying things at home that you shouldn't be trying just to prepare yourself for a date in June. So I want to make sure we started off there. Moving on. So I hope you've had a chance to take a look at our previous virtual classes. And as I mentioned before, it's not a once and done if you already did it. Take those classes more than once, review those videos, actually maybe take out some of the skills that you think, or the exercises or drills that you think that were the most beneficial for you, and repeat those over and over again. I think that they're all really important for you. And as I mentioned, I'm trying to introduce new exercises and new drills and new skills every virtual class so that it's not repetitive, and you can keep kind of pulling out the ones that are most critical for you to do on a reoccurring basis. So also, first class I introduced, hoping all of you are doing a plank every day. I am up to 3 minutes and 30 seconds as of this morning. And again, it's an ugly last 30 seconds, I'll tell you, with I mentioned this before, a lot of shaking and sweating. I didn't actually realize you could sweat doing a plank, but for me, I can. But I'm progressing, so I've gotten up to 3 minutes and 30 seconds. I hope you're doing this as well, and trying to increase your time and increase that core strength. So please continue to do that. So a couple of administrative reminders as before we jump into the skills here. First, these are some of the things I've mentioned every class, right? Please dress appropriately. You don't want to injure yourself because you're not dressed appropriately and have too loose of clothing on, and things along those lines. Be cognizant of your surroundings. Please make sure you have safe space to do this. Again, I'm in my basement. There's a lot of space, but not a lot of cushion. So there's a lot of things I will not do on this floor that I'll explain to you. If you have a carpeted area, or another idea, a mat if you have a mat, of course, but grass. Grass actually has more give than a hardwood floor or whatever you might have in your home. So please make sure you're careful about the cushion that you're working on, and also of things around you, right? Also listen to your body. Want to make sure that you don't hurt yourself. If I give a certain number of reps and it feels like something's hurting when you're doing it, you can stop. Or if it's not enough, keep going, okay? And do more. There's no harm in that. And then similar to previous weeks, I'm going to introduce a skill, a drill, an exercise, and then I'm going to ask you to pause the video to execute them and then rejoin, because remembering them all is not going to be actually possible. So want to do it that way. So same cadence as previous weeks. Want to continue along those lines. Another thing I mentioned at the end of last week's video, it would be awesome if you guys could possibly maybe comment in the comment section of the post containing this video whether you were successful in being able to see it. I can't take attendance in the same way we used to, but I want to see that we're reaching all of you, or see if there's anybody I need to reach out to specifically to make sure that everyone's doing okay. But I want to make sure that you were able to see and view the class and take it. And so it's going to be my way of taking attendance. You could even do a thumbs up, that you were there or that you viewed it. I think that'd be great. But if you could comment something in the comment section, I would truly appreciate it. So I can kind of keep tabs on all of you too. I want to make sure everyone's doing well. Okay. With that, actually, if you want to prep really quick, I'm going to use, in terms of what tools I'm going to use today, I'm actually going to use 2 chairs. It doesn't have to be a chair, it has to be something stable that you can to lean on and put your weight on. I'm going to use 2 folding chairs that you can see behind me. If you want to get those before I move on, pause the video, go for it. But I'll bring those into play twice, I think, throughout today's video. So with that, I'm going to share with you a quick summary of what we're going to try to accomplish today before we move on. Okay. Now, hopefully you can see this, and again, I have a glare of a window behind me, so I will do my best. I think that's good. Okay, so similar to last week, I just wanted to highlight quality and safety similar. Like, I want to make sure that those are front of mind for all of you. Quality over quantity, right? And always remain safe when you're doing these exercises, okay? So I'll kneel down, this will be easier. Okay, so we are going to start off with stretches as we always do. We are going to do our splits in a different kind of straddle than we have been in the past, which is great. And then also something to warm up our backs, okay? We're actually gonna do a little bit more in the back area today, so that's gonna be critical today, okay? We're also going to do some shoulder push-ups, right? And I can actually demonstrate those, that's exciting. And then we're gonna we're gonna do some knee back bends. Okay, not something we've done a lot, but I know that you've done before. I'll explain it. I am not going to go all the way down in the knee back bend, but I will explain it, and it's pretty easy to understand. We are going to try and hit those triceps. It's not a muscle, it gets a lot of exercise. We tried to hit them last week with some push-ups. We're going to do it differently today, and we're going to do dips, and that's where the chairs are going to come into play. We are going to do some mountain climbers. It's going to get you moving aerobically a little bit, okay? And it's also very beneficial for you, okay? Number 6, we're going to do some plank walks. I'm a big advocate for core exercises. I think it's really important. We're going to really hit that core, and I'll introduce what the plank walks are. And then you're not going to really understand my drawing here, but this is the way I was going to help me remember it. We're going to do some jumping. Again, I want to hit those ankles a little bit. We're going to do 1 minute of a quick jumping exercise, and it's also going to give some flexibility to your ankles as well. Okay. We're going to do the drill of the week, and actually I'm going to erase this one. Sorry about that. That's next week. The drill of the week, we're going to do something called a handstand snap down. Now, I am not going to demonstrate this for you. What I'm going to do is I have a video on my phone. I'm going to try to show it as best I can on this recording, and then I'm going to post it also in the comments section of this video if you need to take a closer look, or if there's a glare and you couldn't see it. But I'm going to play it here just so you can see it. Actually 2 separate videos. I think there's 2 different good ways to do it, and I want to make sure that we hit them both. Okay? We're going to do into a stretch, and it's going to be a little bit of a different stretch, and actually I'm going to show you a picture of what I want. Again, my back flexibility is not all there anymore, so I want to show you what I'm looking for. And then because we used our backs a lot, we're going to kind of stretch that out. And then the challenge exercise I'm going to introduce today is one-legged squats. We're going to start with the chairs and then remove the chairs, right? I think all of you should be able to do some one-legged squats unassisted, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Okay? With that said, we're going to get started. Okay, I'm going to keep this here as my cheat sheet. All right, and we're gonna get started with our stretch. So first of all, it's important to know, it's important for you to stretch your splits and your straddles before we actually go into them, and I know you know how to do that. So we're not gonna go over that today, I'm not gonna spend time on that. But make sure you stretch out your splits, as we talked about in the past, and stretch out your straddles. And just quick reminder, splits, right? Stretching at both sides, and then sitting in a straddle and going, and going both sides, okay? All as far as you can. And I'm gonna actually tilt this camera down a little bit, because it looks like I may have lost some of my floor space there. There we go, okay. So stretch those. I trust that all of you can do that, okay? What I want you to do today for stretching is we're gonna do 3 things, okay? The first one you're gonna do, and then pause, and then we're gonna move on. I want you to hold your right leg split for a minute, and your left leg split for a minute. Reminders, important reminders. Back knee is always pointed towards the floor, it's tucked under. It's never out to the side, because that opens your hips up. We don't wanna open your hips up. We want your back knee under. Front knee is always pointed towards the ceiling or out, right? If it's my left leg, it could be pointed slightly that way. If it's my right leg, it could be pointed slightly that way, but it's never turned in, okay? So, and toe always pointed. If anything, your pinky toe angled towards the floor, okay? So, both legs, 1 minute each. Pause the video, come back, and then we will move on. Okay. Straddle. Now, this is the one I know you guys don't like to slide into your straddles and hold it, and a lot of times you cheat. Full disclosure, I'm well aware that you cheat. What I would like you to do is we're gonna do it standing. We're gonna do it something just a little different. It's actually gonna hit different parts of your legs. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna actually, I have a very slippery rug. You're gonna stand in your straddle. And I want you to do is very slowly, you're gonna put your hips behind you. You're gonna keep your legs, they can be a soft bend in your knee, right? But nothing crazy, okay? And you're gonna push your hips back, and you're going to lower your chest as far as you can go. Now the idea is you don't want a full split, because that's too easy, because you want to actually stretch out your muscles. So your straddle, sorry. Your straddle, just a bit wider than shoulder width, right? Okay? The idea is you should absolutely be able to get your hands flat on this floor. I really hope that you can, right? Because I can, and that's not saying very much, right? So, and chest down, okay? So what I want you to do is once you're down there, I want you to grab the back of your knees, or back of your ankles, and I want you to slowly pull your chest down in between your legs, okay? I'm not gonna be able to get very far, okay? So I'm just gonna come down, grab the back of my legs, and pull my chest, okay? Many of you may be able to put your chest all the way through your legs, which is awesome. Just don't do it with very, very bent legs. Just a slight bend in your knee to protect them, okay? I want you to do that, and just kind of lean in, okay? And pulse back and forth. So in and out between your legs with your chest. 10 or so times, okay? Once you stand up, we are going to lean towards each leg separately, right? So you're going to do the same thing and leaning down, but then you're going to reach both arms down and try to get your nose to your knee. If you can get it past by going on the inside of your knee, go ahead and do that. And then do the same thing on the other side, okay? And it'd be great if you could hold each side maybe for 30 seconds. It's not very long, okay? So down through the center, and pulse for 10 times, trying to pull your chest in, and then lean towards each leg for about 30 seconds to really stretch that out, okay? So pause the video and then do that quickly for me, and then come back, okay? The third stretch today, you're not gonna be surprised, is your bridge, and I mentioned we're gonna be doing some things that involve back a little bit today, more so than we did probably previously. So this is gonna be really, really important, so don't skimp on it, right? I want you to push up into your bridge, and I want you to do bridge rocks, right? Now, when I say rock, so you're in a bridge, both hands on the floor, you're gonna lean towards your hips, and then put more pressure in your hands and lean on your hands, okay? Now, as you do that, you can actually get a little bit of momentum, okay? So if your hands pop off the floor a little bit, that's good. And if you go up on your toes a little bit, that's good in your bridge. So you're gonna rock back and forth just to really loosen that up. Okay, so last week we did claps. We no need to do that this week. Just thought I'd change it a little bit and just lean back and forth, towards your shoulders and then towards your knees. Okay, and rock that out. I would like you to do. What did I put on here? Again, all my glasses on. I only have 10 rocks on there. If that doesn't feel like it loosened you up enough, Do 10 and 20. That works because it's not that strenuous, and it's something that I really wanted to get loosened up. So pause the video, go do your 10 bridge rocks, and then come back and visit me, and we will move on to our second exercise today. Okay, the second thing we're going to do today is shoulder push-ups. And actually, I didn't even say anything about Miss Heather to introduce the video, so my apologies. Miss Heather weighs in on this every week. I actually send her my thoughts. She sends me her thoughts. I write it up on the board, and I send her a picture of the board, and she tells me what she likes, what she doesn't like, or she tells me it's good to go. So this is actually something that Miss Heather demonstrated for me, something that she really likes and thinks is effective. So thank you, Miss Heather. What I want you to do is I'll demonstrate this. Again, I'm on a very slippery mat here, so I will try and make this work. We're going to do shoulder push-ups. How many did I say? 2 sets of 10. So what you're going to do is you're going to, and I'll go sideways, this will be easier to see, I think. Okay? You know what a normal push-up position looks like. This is actually very different. And actually, this is the position I tell you to never do in a push-up, which is kind of funny, but it's going to just work different muscles. Okay? So you're going to put your hands on the floor, okay? And your hips are in the air, and you're a straddle, a small straddle here. Okay, your hips are in the air. That's what I tell you to never do, to be honest. You're going to keep your head in between your arms, okay? And you're going to, make sure I don't hit my chair, you're going to bend your arms down and up, down and up, okay? So we're calling those shoulder push-ups, different variation, working some different muscle groups. So what I want you to do is do 10, rest, and do 10 more, okay? So a total of 20 of those. It actually, I feel like it may not be as strenuous as some of the other push-ups that we may have done, but give it a try and see what you think. And yeah, and we'll go from there. So pause the video, do that second exercise of shoulder push-ups, 2 sets of 10, and then come back. Okay. The third exercise that we're doing today is knee back bends, okay? So this is something where I thought would even all of you can do a back bend, so I'm not very concerned about that. But it's even safer because honestly, you're not going all the way down to where your hands could collapse, right? Because you're not using your hands at all, okay? What you're going to do is now again, I said this earlier, I'm not doing these because I will, this is something I don't do anymore. But you're going to get into this position, right? Your knees are apart, okay? So, and what you're going to do is your hands are going to stay by your sides, okay? You're going to stick your hips forward. The idea is to keep your knees, your hips in line with your knees. So you're not leaning this way all that much, right? That was a good exercise though. Okay, you're not leaning that way all that much. What you're doing is you're leaving your hips here and you are looking back. And what I want you to do is arch back till you just about touch your head. Please don't slam your head on the floor. Not the idea. Okay, just arch back until your head almost touches the floor. Hence the knee back bend, and then pull yourself back up, and that's actually going to make you use your core. Okay, so it's kind of like a 2-for-1 deal. We're actually working the back muscles with that back bend and then the flexibility piece, and we're also working on our core. Okay, so you're going to again arch back, look back with your head almost touches the floor, pull your chest back up to sitting knee position. Okay, again working multiple things there. But what I want you to do is what did I have there? I put 2 sets of 5 down and up, okay? So 1 set is going down and pulling your chest back up. So do, that's 1, sorry. Do 5 in a row, right? Pause, rest your back for a moment, okay? And then do 5 more down and up, okay? And really get yourself that good deep stretch, okay? So pause the video, do those knee back bends, and then come and visit me for the next one. Okay, our fourth exercise today is our dips using chairs. So this is where I'm going to bring in my assistants. So I'm going to put the chairs facing each other. And actually I need to move them back, my feet are going to slide on that floor. And I may have to adjust them as I get in position. Now, one of the muscles that we tend to have a more difficult time exercising is the tricep, and that's the back of your upper arm. Okay? So this is going to actually target that area a little bit, okay? So what you're going to do is I have chairs obviously facing one another, so I'm going to use the seat of them with my hands. Okay, I'm going to, again, slide slide these a little bit more. I'm going to put my hands on the chairs and I'm going to stick my feet out in front of me, okay? The idea is my feet are not underneath me because then when I do the exercise, I'm going to rely on my leg muscles instead of my arm muscles. That is not the goal today, okay? And I still want to move these back. I cannot get my spacing right. I'm putting my hands actually with my fingers facing forward, the back of my hands actually facing forward, my knuckles facing forward so my fingertips are off the edge of the seat, because if my hands are facing a different direction, it may not target this tricep. So I'm going to put my hands actually kind of hanging off, but make sure they're secure so you don't fall off, right? And I'm going to sit in almost a pike position, which you all should know what that is, right? Okay? And I'm not relying on these legs at all. There's no weight on them, right? All the weight is on my arms. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go dip and up, elbows back, dip my hips down and push back up. Dip my hips down and push back up. Now again, I'm not using these legs at all. The idea is to really get a good bend in your arm. The idea is to not just lift your bottom up and down. We don't want to do that either. It's bending of those arms. Okay? So, how many do I want of those? It's sad when I'm out of breath from doing dips, but I am a little bit, and talking at the same time. I want you to do 2 sets of 10. 2 sets of 10 seems to be kind of my number today. So do 10 in a row with good bend, good form, right? Take a rest. Give your wrists a rest, because this actually, I'm feeling a little bit of my wrists just because of the bending and the pressure I'm putting on them. Give your body a rest for a moment, and then do it again. Okay? Make sure, please, from a safety perspective, the chairs are in a place where they're not going to rock, fall, slide. That's why I made sure they were on the carpet and not like on that hard floor that's around me, because they would have slid potentially. And make sure that they're open all the way if they're folding chairs. And if you don't have folding chairs, if you have something else, another object, you can use that as well. Just please make sure it is a safe one to use, and it's not going to give on you, and it's going to stay keep you off the floor. Okay. So pause the video, go do 2 sets of 10 chair dips, and then come on back and visit me. So, our 5th exercise today is mountain climbers. I feel like there's a lot of variations of mountain climbers, but I feel like it's a good way to get your heart rate up and keep you pumped and moving. And I'm not going to give you a number to do. I'm going to actually approach this one slightly differently. I want you to do this for 1 minute, okay, and see how you feel. And if it's challenging, see if you can make it to a minute. If 1 minute wasn't enough, try 1.5 minutes, okay? Just want to make sure that we're working with each of your individual abilities. Okay, so, and there's different variations, as I mentioned. So the variation I would like you to do today is you're going to get in a push-up position, right? And you are going to jump your feet in. Okay? I want that foot that's jumping in to really work its way in, right? Not just to here, I want it all the way in here. And the idea is to try to keep your hips low as well, okay? You don't want to stick your bottom up in the air. And you want to get those feet in. I would also like you to try to make sure your knee is coming between your hands. None of this stuff where it's hanging out to the side, okay? I want it in here, okay? Rarely do we do anything where your knees are bent out to the side, okay? So I want to try and keep them in the right line, okay? And we're about to have a cameo from Luke. Okay, so I heard his squeaky sneakers coming. So I want you to do mountain climbers for 1 minute, right? Unless it's not challenging enough for you, and do longer. Okay, so pause the video, do your mountain climbers, and then come right back. And actually, really quick, this is also, we're putting pressure on our hands here. You notice that's purposeful, okay, to really get those wrists in action, all right? Again, wrists are something I'm worried about with the lack of impact that you're probably having on them, that they're used to, and I want to make sure that they're still strong enough when we get back to tumbling. So with that, pause the video, do your mountain climbers for a minute, and then come on back and visit me. Okay, here comes Luke again. He must have been thirsty. Okay, so the 6th exercise that we're going to do is our plank walks. Now, I just kind of made this up, this little routine of plank walks. You've probably heard of just plank. You can do steps in your plank with your hands, but I'm going to do a little pattern that I want you to follow. That's the word I'm looking for, a pattern that I would like you to follow. And it goes like this, so you can understand. It goes, you're going to be in a plank, and you're going to go up, right, center, left, center, down. Okay? So it's going to be a pattern. I'm going to show you sideways, and then another way as well. Okay? So you're going to get into a plank. Okay? Which my elbows are on the floor. Make sure you can see me. Yep. Okay. Hips are down. Now the pattern is you're going to go up on your hands, walk 2 steps to the right, come back to center, 2 steps to the left, back to center, and down. Okay? That's one. Okay? So elbows, hands, right, center, left, center, elbows. Okay? 1. Now, how many do I want us to do? 10 times. Okay, so I believe that everybody can do this, okay? So really quick, again, just so you can see it from this position, make sure you can see which direction I'm going in. So it's gonna be a plank, okay? You're gonna go up, right, center, left, center, down, okay? And again, that's 1, okay? I want you to do that series 10 times, okay? We're working on the core. It's also activating the arms, right? Because we're moving, holding ourselves up in different ways. So pause the video, go do some plank walks, and then come on back. Okay? All right. My basement is chilly. So the next exercise that we're going to do is going to activate the ankles. And again, I can't say this enough, I think I can get my sweater on. I think in the very first video I was very clear on, I was worried about wrists and ankles, okay? That has not changed. So today we already did a couple things. I was putting some pressure on our ankles. We're gonna continue to do that. But now we're going to put some pressure on our wrists. Now we're gonna put some pressure on our ankles, okay? So what I want you to do is we're gonna actually follow a pattern, right? Making your brains think a little bit as well. We're going to do some jumps, but we're going to do them in such a way that's going to put our ankles at slightly different angles to get them moving in different directions as well as slight impact, okay? So what I want you to do is you're going to put your hands on your hips, you're going to stand and put your feet together, okay? What I want you to do is you're going to jump forward, center, right, center, back, center, left, center, okay? And that's 1, okay? It's kind of similar to a little bit of an action that we did in our plank walks. You're gonna start here and you're gonna go, oh wait, really quick before we start. It doesn't mean jumping your whole body forward. I just want you to jump your lower body, and that's why it's gonna put your ankle at a little bit of an angle each time, and I might fall. So let's take those off. So I'm not jumping my whole body forward, right? I'm just jumping my lower body forward, my lower body to the side, back, left, and back. That way it's getting my ankles at different angles, okay? So it's gonna look like this. You're gonna go forward. Oh, let me start that again. My mat is going to move. I don't know if this is heavy enough. Actually, sadly enough. I wonder if I put some weights on here to keep it from moving. Probably not. Okay, so you're gonna go right, forward, center, right, center. Oh. Forward, center, right, center, back, center, left, center. But again, you're going to be on a little bit of an angle, which you probably can't see through the video, unfortunately. So your upper body stays in this position, in the same spot, and your feet just move forward, back, side, back, middle, and other side of that, okay? So that way you're at a slight angle, and your ankles are going to be at a slight angle in different directions, okay? It's going to kind of give it a little bit of motion, okay? So remember I said, forward, center, right, center, back, center, left, center is 1, okay? That series of jumps, and you're going to do that for 1 minute. So I like the idea of not giving a number here, but I want you to actually be active doing those jumps for 1 entire minute. And actually it's going to be kind of a long time. So do the best you can with that. So give those jumps a whirl, get those ankles really activated, as well as getting your heart rate up a tiny bit, okay? And then pause the video and come back, okay? Okay, I'm getting that weird glare again from that window. Might have to change the time of day I do this. Okay. All right, here's where it gets a little complicated. So our 8th exercise is going to be the drill of the week. I always have drills of the week, right? We only have one here because it's really important, and I think past weeks I've done maybe 2 sometimes. We're only going to do 1. But what I would like you to do is do a handstand snap down. I'm going to explain it, but I want to show you 2 different videos of it that, again, I'll show you hopefully through the video on my phone, and then I'll also upload to the comments section. So anyway, it's going to be a handstand snap down. What you're going to do is you're going to kick up. There's 2 ways you're going to do this. Okay, the first way is kicking up into a handstand against the wall. We've talked about this before. Do not kick up as fast as you can and put holes in the wall. The difference in these, though, is I'm not going to do this certainly. Okay, your hands are actually going to be farther away from the wall. So a good foot and a half actually away from the wall. And just your heels are going to touch the wall. It's going to make it almost seem like you're in an arch, but what I'm trying to mimic is the second half of a back handspring, okay? So it's going to look like your feet are just coming over from your back handspring, your hands are firmly planted on the floor, okay? So your heels are against the wall, you're just about to finish that back handspring. The motion I want is I want you to use your core. I don't want you to bend your legs, I don't want you to really arch and whip. I want you to really push through your shoulders and use your core to snap your feet to the floor and rebound. A rebound, right, is a jump, okay? So you're gonna snap your feet down and jump. The important part is, I don't want you to just pike your feet to the floor with your hands still there and then stand up. The idea is to get your hands off the floor before your feet land, right? The second half of that handspring. This is actually a drill, I'm really excited about this. I read up on lots of varying different ways of doing it that we're going to do in class more often because I felt like the motion, as I was kind of evaluating it and analyzing a little bit, is something that we really could work on, or really need work on actually. Okay, so remember, heels against the wall, snap down, rebound. Okay, we're going to have an interruption in a moment. I can hear them coming. Maybe not. Okay. So, there they are. Okay. So, remember, handstand against the wall, snap your feet down, rebound. Okay. I want you to get your hands off the floor before your feet hit, if possible. That's the whole point, and not in a piked position. Hello, Zach. Not in a piked position, right? The idea is to try and keep your body as straight as possible when you come down and not pike your way down. Now that's the first way to do it. Now those of you who have stronger handstands can do this without a wall, okay? You can kick up, right? Start to lean, angle yourself a little bit so you're almost, again, in that seemingly arched position, not necessarily arched, just the second half of your handspring, and then really snap those feet down, okay? So it's just doing the same thing without the assistance of a wall. I'm going to show you a video of both options. The other thing I want to tell you is that I would never do that at this setting right here. This floor is too hard, right? Because we are snapping down, and that would be too much of an impact on my ankles in this room. If you do not have like a nice cushion carpet, plush carpeting to do this on, or a clear wall, right? This is a perfect exercise for the grass, honestly. If the weather is nice, or wait for a nice day. If you have to skip this one because you can't do it in your house, take it outside. There's definitely no reason why you can't do this outside. Grass actually has a little bit of give to it, more so than this hard floor. So I would never do it in here. Don't do it on concrete, sidewalks, pavement, driveways, no. Okay, tile, no, right? I want you to stay safe. Make sure you're doing this right. So with that, I'm actually gonna grab my phone. And of course there's a terrible glare here. I hope now is not the time it shows up, but I texted it to myself. This is sadly the extent of my technological savviness. So I want to try and pull this up.
Find your wall and watch it.
Oh, can I get her sideways? All right, hang on. We're going to rewind it a little bit. Okay. So if you can see here, she's up against the wall, showing a slight arch, snap down. Now, she didn't rebound. I'd prefer you to do it with a rebound, okay? So watch her again. Against the wall, just her heels are touching, her hands are far away. She's gonna snap that down, hands up. I think she could probably get her hands up a little faster. The rebound would help that, okay? So this is the first option, okay? And I'll send this video along. So let me close that and go to the other one. This is one that's more freestanding. So here we go. There's someone talking, so my apologies. She's explaining it. I muted it on purpose, both videos, because some of their commentary I didn't like all that much. But she's helping her in her handstand, and she's snapping her down, rebound. Okay? So she's gonna try it with a couple of people here. Kick up, and snap down and up. Okay? There we go. She shows a little bit of an arch there. And rebound. Okay, show one more. And rebound. Okay? So that is exactly what I want you to give it a try. Alright? So it's a handstand snap down. It is mimicking the second half of the back handspring. Everyone watching this can benefit from it. I know some of you have good back handsprings and that's great, but this is always an exercise that will help. It's also putting a little pressure in your hands, pressure in your ankles, and getting you moving in that back handspring motion. So how many do I have here? Of course I didn't put any on here, I didn't put a number. So I would think you could probably do that a minimum of 10 times. Again, I think this one is very, very important from a drill perspective. The more of these you can do, the better. Not all at once. You know, if you're outside on a nice day, not necessarily taking class, do some handstand snap downs, okay? Very, very important. One more note too, not to forget, push through your shoulders, okay? You wanna make sure when you're in that handstand, you're opening us up, right? When you're really stretched, and then you snap it down and push, okay? Okay. With that, I want you to pause the video, give those a try in a safe place, okay? Don't get me in trouble with your parents, and really work hard. I think they're gonna be really helpful. I think you'll enjoy them. So pause the video and give them a try, and then come back. Okay. All right. The ninth thing we're going to do, and I have a picture I'm going to use for this one as well, is stretch. Okay, we always start with a stretch. The ninth thing we always do is a stretch before we get to our challenge activity, because the challenge activity will be something you continue to work on throughout the week before the next class. So what I want you to do is a bridge. Now, hear me out, because I know everybody here can do a bridge. We already did a bridge. What we're going to do is, actually, if you recall in class, when we stretch out our backs, I always ask you to push your feet together and straighten your legs to push your shoulders over top of your wrists. Okay? So you really stretch this out, and it really forces your arch a little bit more. Okay? I'm going to force that a little bit more. Okay? I'm going to show you a picture of why I want to do this. Okay? But the how, right? I want you to push up into a bridge. Sit down, and you need a wall for this. So my apologies again for not sharing that. You're going to sit down on the floor, okay? And you're going to push up into a bridge with your wrists against the wall. Okay, so your face is looking at the wall. Okay? So in this direction. Okay? You're going to push up into a bridge. What I want you to do is when you're in that bridge, I want you to do what we do in class. Put your feet together, straighten your legs. Now, the goal here is to push your upper body against the wall. So I want your wrists touching the wall, I already said that, and your arms close to your head, right? Wrists touching the wall. And in that position, the goal, so you can see my whole body here, is to get your whole arm, your armpit, right, all touching the wall, okay? And for even those that are more flexible, and that goal, and what I want you to target is getting your chest against the wall, all the way up to the bottom of your rib cage, okay? Now you can stick your head out a little bit because you don't want to crunch your nose, right? Stick your head out a little bit so that your whole upper body from your wrist down to your bottom of your rib cage is flat against the wall, okay? Now, let me show you a picture of what I'm talking about, and I have that terrible glare again. Let me show you a picture of what I'm talking about so that it makes sense, because it probably seems a little crazy right now. This is what I want. Okay, you can see where oh, that didn't help. You can see her rib cage, the bottom of her rib cage is like right about there. It's not all the way against the wall, but she's close, okay? Now her feet aren't all the way together. I would encourage feet together, but her legs are straight, so she's using her feet to push her shoulders and her armpits up against the wall, okay? This is a really good back stretch and something that we're gonna probably do a little bit more in class. So this is what I want you to target, okay? Now I can't give you a number to try because this is actually going to be on a case-by-case basis. I want you to feel, or I want you to be cognizant of how your back feels. I want you to hurt your backs, right? Because this is something that's gonna really stretch it. So I want you to try and push up and really lean, maybe a few times, really try and get as close to that wall as you can, and then come down and try that a couple times. I'm not gonna give you a number because I want you to really work that out. Okay, so pause the video, give those a whirl against a wall, safe place, and then come back. We'll do one more stretch before we get to our challenge activity. And I'm actually gonna put my socks back on. Oh, my slippery. All right, so our second stretch is, oh my goodness, there's a big glare on my face. The second stretch is something to release our backs, because we did bridges in the beginning. We did knee back bends, and then we just did the bridges against the wall. So it's a lot of work on your backs. So what I want to do is rock that out a little bit and work it out. We've done this stretch before. It's not a big surprise. What I want you to do is do a seal stretch, right? Looking up at the ceiling, that's just kind of where your back was, arch, right? But here's where it's going to feel better. You're going to lift your hips up, push your shoulders back, don't move your hands, and stretch your armpits towards the floor and look down, okay? Really release that lower back. So I want you, that's called the cat stretch, right? Really stretching it out. So I want you to do the seal stretch, pushing through to the cat stretch, and I would like you to do that a number of times, right? I don't necessarily need to give you a number. Do it multiple times though to really release that back. It's really going to be beneficial for you, okay? So pause the video, give that a try, and then come back. I'm going to try and get rid of that glare a little bit for the next exercise. So give me one quick second. I'm probably gonna make it worse. I'm up on a stool now, which is wacky. Let's see. That might actually work for the last thing. So there's not a glare across. Maybe a little. Okay. Anyway. Okay. So I hope those stretches went well. Now for the 10th activity we're going to do today is a challenge activity. So this is where we're going to use our chairs again. Actually, so I'm going to demonstrate with chairs. And I want you to try it with whatever chairs or whatever, something that's supportive that you can try it with. But I want you to try it without them. I actually think that all of you should be able to do this without assistance. But I'm going to show you with assistance first. Let me get my chairs ready. You can do this with your chairs in multiple positions. I just put them in the same way when I tried this, same way I had them for the dips that we did, okay? So what you're gonna do is we're gonna do one-legged squats. Now, I don't actually think they sound that complicated. I'm an old lady, felt a little complicated for me, which is why I thought the idea of using the chairs. So what you're gonna do is I'm gonna use my right leg first. You guys know in class I always do right leg first, but it doesn't matter, we're gonna do both, okay? You're gonna pick a leg. Now, you guys are more flexible than I am. The idea is I want the leg to be straight out to the in front of you. Not down here, okay, not over here, okay? Straight out, okay? Hip height, which I'm not gonna probably show very well. What you're gonna do is you're going to hold that leg straight out. You're going to squat down till you're just about to touch the floor with your bottom, and then you're gonna stand back up, okay? Now, I'm going to use my hand, use the seat of this chair to guide me down and then help me back up. And feel free to do the same to get started, okay? So remember, legs out here. I'm going to squat down just until I touch the floor and then pull myself back up. Now, clearly if I was able to do that easily, that's too easy. Then what I want you to do is, we'll try that with both legs, okay? Is I want you to get rid of your, whatever you use for assistance, which could be chairs. Right? Stand here, legs straight out, squat all the way down, just so you're about to touch the floor. Don't sit down, okay? And stand back up, okay? And I want you to try that on both legs, okay? I'm hoping that all of you can do that unassisted. It takes a lot of strength. It takes a lot of balance, which is also another thing that we're working on here. And actually flexibility to hold that leg up. It kind of is a nice variety of things that I was touching upon. Okay, so now, actually, how many did I put there? Oh, actually, I didn't put numbers there. I think my thought process with that is that if you do one, that's a win, right? By unassisted. If you're doing them assisted, do at least 5 per leg, okay? Because your arms are helping you, and it's not going to actually target the right areas and give you all the benefits, okay? But if you're doing it unassisted and you do one, that's fantastic. I would like you to try it more than once, however, to really get the most out of it. So with that, pause the video, go try your one-legged squats. Again, don't forget to do both legs, and then come back for some closing remarks, and we'll wrap up this week. Okay, all right, so I hope that those one-legged squats went well. I was really excited about them. I actually called, it's funny, I tried them on my own because I used to do those all the time, and I thought, that's nothing, and then I struggled a bit. And then I had Luke try them, my younger son, and he actually couldn't hold his leg. His flexibility is not there, which is something he needs to work on. Him just having his leg up was difficult, and then his heel would get in the way on the squat, so I couldn't have him demonstrate either. But I think you get the idea. Oh, and Miss Heather laughed at me. Okay, I told her what I was thinking, and she was like, no way. So I hope that you were more successful than the 3 of us who tried them, and look forward to hearing about it. So with that, just let you know, again, I miss you guys. Can't wait to see you again. I don't know when that will be, but I know Miss Patty and Miss Stacy are coming up with a great plan for us to get through this difficult time. I hope that your schoolwork's going well, and you're staying disciplined, and you're eating as healthy as possible, and getting some activity outside of this class, even more, as much as you can to stay as healthy as possible. So don't forget to give the thumbs up that you are able to view this and were able to participate. That would be great, just so I can kind of keep tabs on everyone. And I look forward to meeting with you again next week. So with that, I'll say goodbye. See ya.